Hello, welcome back to Sushi Live Noding. Today we're gonna be experimenting with another tool, and then we're gonna bring it into Blender as a curve, and then we're gonna do something with it. So basically, I found out about this tool the other day. It's called Pen Tool, but it's got a lot of things that's really cool. It's The result is gonna be like a SVG vector artwork, but you have a lot of tools here that Blender doesn't have as a 2D tools, like for example the vector fill and the vector erase is actually really cool. You see the result there. um, you can actually erase a vector and you get this interesting shapes, so that's actually really hard to do. I will reset the workspace. Okay, leave page, it's gonna clean up everything and you have a clean space. And normally you probably want to use this maybe for animations, but this actually, whoops, it's actually making a sound. I don't know why. um, Anyhow, it's you can draw like random stroke, but what I'm gonna do is just to create this concentric circle. So this is the one that I'm gonna be using. So this will create this kind of thing. You can actually do this, I think, using Sverchok add-on, but if you want to do it manually, it is also kind of fun to do. Right, so yeah, this is gonna be like a vector, like I said, SVG. Make a couple more. Okay, that's pretty much it. You see, there's also codes you can use to make this into a different shapes. But let's just save this really quick. Export SVG. It's gonna export everything, including 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's a 4 frames because this is actually an animations. You can step through using shortcut D and F. But have a look at this tool anyway. So I'm gonna close this and let's open up our SVG. So untitled zip, extract it. So we have a bunch of SVG. I believe this is the one we need, 009. I'm gonna delete everything in Blender. File, import SVG. Where's, okay, scalable vector graphics. And we just gonna drag and drop this in here. Okay, number 9. So we got our artwork here. It looks kind of strange, but we're gonna fix that real quick. So I'm just gonna scale it first 20 times. So we have our stroke, but they are, looks like just a bunch of curve, right? And they're kind of like connected. So let's save this first. Save as curves. And I know the fact that we need to select one of them and then try to turn off the cyclic. So if I do that for one, it's gonna do it just for that single one, but you can hold options or alt and do it for everything. At this point you can do the extrusion. So again, alt shift and then extrude, alt shift depth. So this will give you that result. Let's give it a different material so you can see more clearly. Okay, so that's in itself is kind of cool, but we want to turn it into 3D. So alt click on this guy, alt click on full, and we want to control the extrusion and the depth a little bit more. If I'm not wrong, as usual, curve usually doesn't close the end, but that's okay for now. So let's at this point we can do like taper, bevel, but we want to do something with this and Sverchok add-on. So switch to node editor, Sverchok. Why I use Sverchok a lot, I don't know, but I just think of it like it's kind of like impromptu kind of tool. If you want to do it something really fast, and you want to operate on many objects at the same time, of course you can hold options and then control that value, like maybe just typing in. But let's say you want to randomize the extrusion. How do you do that? That's going to be a little bit hard unless you script it or use drivers. You can use Sverchok. So object ID, selector, get our objects of type of curve. And then by doing that, we are selecting all the curve, right? Plug this and you can see this is all our curve. And by using object ID set, you can set anything with this guy very quickly. In our case, let's say the extrusion. What is the extrusion? It's a bpy.context.object, so that's the selected objects. Data extrude. Okay, data extrude. That's our data, and that's our parameter that we can control. That's actually pretty much it. It's very easy to do this, and the value is really small. That's okay, but we can do a lot of things with this. For example, random number, right? It's the easiest one. Use float. This is the low value, it's very small. High value, and then just plug this into that guy and randomize the seed. Okay, this guy's the high value is too big, so let's make it smaller and just simply randomize it. See, that's basically how it works. If you hold shift, you can slide with smaller value, I believe, because the value is so small. Maybe you want to multiply it. But this is one idea how you can play around with this random number, or something that's more interesting, usually vector noise, and use scalar. And how many vertices we have here? I just usually just plug in a line and just move it. This will create some kind of a controllable noise. There we go, see? But the line, we need to have how many objects we have? 25. So that's pretty much what I want to show you. It's at this point we want to use maybe like frame, plug into this guy, multiply this by smaller value, and then here just use math, multiply this by smaller number. So we have this kind of animations. It's really quite fun, and this is all procedural. You can always change anything at any time. You see, all of these are just normal Blender curve. So this is like curve controller, and the curve, if you look at it, have the extrusions changing value. You can also play with the depth, of course. So it's like I don't know what it is, but it's kind of cool. So yeah, this works with that the other tool that you saw earlier. So this is the developer that creates the tool. It's really handy. He actually used it with Cinema 4D, and he generates these animations, and then he turned it into 3D using Houdini and Cinema 4D, and then it becomes very interesting animations. So yeah, give it a try, that tool, and then play around with the curve, and then see, Sverchok is very easy, very easy. All right, thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.